What's up? Welcome to another episode of Shenanigans Podcast. How y'all doing? How y'all been? Everything good with you? I hope you're in a good spot with everything going on around the globe. It's sad, solemn time that we're living in. And here I am. This is a nostalgic time for me because I am in Virginia right now, where I kind of started my military career because I did AIT here, Fort Lee, Virginia, whiskey, and I'm back here again after 2014. I did AIT here, and then I did AOC here in 2014, and now I'm back here again, training, and it was a great training weekend. It was great, but I reminisce because it's like 27 years this month is a milestone for me. And anybody that has a career that's been doing something over 20 years can tell you it ain't always easy. It ain't always the easiest thing to do, but you do it anyway. See the flags? That's what I do. Yeah, I serve the country. I serve my country well. And I know a lot of people don't believe in it, but for the ones that understand why we do what we do because we have to, thank you. You understand. There's certain liberties we have here in America that other countries don't have the same liberties. Excuse me. And it just pains me to see that with the deaths that are following the soldiers in Iran, the comments are brutal. They're just like, yeah, that's what they signed up for. Yeah, well, if they didn't go over there, it wouldn't have happened. Crazy. Crazy. But I can see a lot of y'all are not world travelers to certain hot spots. You go to Cancun, Thailand, Bangkok, Spain, Italy, different places in Europe, China, Japan. Like you go to like the really cool touristy areas. But nobody's taking tourist trips to Syria, Iraq, Kuwait, Iran. You're not going over there. Why not? Why is that? So you can see firsthand what's going on. It's crazy. And the biggest group of people that always speak on military operations will always be the civilians, the people that never join. And over there on the TikTok, they're like, I got reputable sources from someone that I know in the military personally what's going on over there. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I always told my family members, stop watching CNN, stop watching the news. They're not going to tell you the true Hollywood story, the full Monty of what's going on overseas. And I sit here and like did a mini SRP to see if I'm still deployable. Because there's always that chance. However long you're in the military for, there's always that chance that you can go overseas and deploy. And with that comes great risk. And it's scary because nobody signs up and says, yeah, I signed up to go to war. Well, if they did, it's like 0.38% that might have said, you know what, I want to go over there and kill. A lot of us, we go over there and we're like, well, the money's good. And I get it. Not all money's good money. I get it. But if you knew what we make in the military, you'd be like, oh, I understand. I understand wholeheartedly. But again, for you keyboard warriors that come on and type up what you're free to type up, you got complete freedom of speech where other countries don't. Where other countries make their females stop going to school by the age of 6, 7, 8 years old. They're not allowed to read. They're not allowed to vote. They're not allowed to do anything without permission from a man. And yet here in America, we could do what we want, say what we want, go where we want, read what we want, right? We have a lot of freedom. And I get it. You're not going to understand everything. And as I sit here reminiscing about my 27 years in the military, thinking, wow, I have my 4 deployments, countless field rotations, NTC rotations. I'm battle damaged, battle scarred. I did my time. And I got lucky. But not everybody is able to be lucky. Not everybody's able to deploy and not get hurt. So I just want y'all to remember that when y'all see the news and you see the death toll rising from the soldiers that are passing away, being overseas on these deployments. Yeah, they're giving the ultimate sacrifice. And nobody likes death, whether it's us versus them. Nobody likes death, especially when it comes to children. Nobody likes to see children die in a war, And yeah, somebody was like, yeah, there's going to be casualties. He's not lying. There's always going to be casualties in a war. There's always going to be something going on. But what we're trying to prevent is the stuff that goes on over there happening over here. So we want to continue to enjoy our liberties and our freedoms. We want to be able to go to concerts and not worry about, is it the last concert I'm going to attend? We want to be able to travel freely, explore, live. And I saw somewhere someone was commenting like, how could you have a baby in this economy? How could you continue to make babies knowing the direction that the world is headed in? We don't know what world the direction is going. We just know that life is going to continue to evolve and continue to grow and go, right? Everything happens for a reason, but you can't stop living. You can't stop dreaming. You can't stop hoping. And yes, I saw in the news that they were thinking about implementing the draft for the selective service. But we've had that before, right? We've had that before. Many, well, not even so many years ago. It happened in the 1900s. A lot of us were born in the 1900s. Our kids are going to have to serve. And we don't want them to. You never want to see your kid grow up and go serve in a war and potentially pass away. It's scary. All of life is scary. And I know they could die in a car accident, they could die in a freak accident, they could drown, a ski accident, snowboarding accident, car crash. There's like 1,000 ways to die. We know because we've seen the show, 1,000 Ways to Die, and they show you literally there's always a way. It's a beautiful night out here. It really is. The weather's gorgeous. Where I heard last week, it was a horrible rainstorm. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. And don't forget to set your clocks forward an hour. You're going to lose sleep or gain sleep, just depends on your lifestyle. But guess what? You get to sleep, perchance to dream a little dream. Are we dreaming of world peace? We're dreaming of the calm, waiting for it to happen. It'll come. It'll come. Some are like, yeah, you should have voted for Kamala, but no, you didn't. You gave this guy 2 terms, and the world's gone to shit. Has it? Yeah, oil prices risen. Stuff's happening. The economy, the poverty level was probably increased. Lots going on. But yet, we're resilient because we keep finding ways to continue. We keep finding ways to be strong. We keep finding ways to be faithful. We keep finding ways to be joyful. We keep finding ways. And that's all you got to do is keep finding ways. Keep hope alive. Pray over your family, hug your loved ones, and let them know you care. Let them know that they're seen. You ain't got to tolerate the bullshit, but let them know you care. Let them know you still love them. So, because nobody's promised tomorrow, and that's the whole thick of it. We're not promised tomorrow. So they always tell us what to cherish each day like it's our last. Enjoy that meal like it's our last. Enjoy the company you keep. But me, I'm a knucklehead, you know. When I was here in Fort Lee the first time back in 1999, I was 21 years old, fresh out of Brooklyn, New York, into the Army. And this was my second AIT because my first one I was at after basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Well, I got in trouble over there. I got my very first Article 15 for having a Game Boy in my personal locker. Contraband. How is a Game Boy contraband? Do I have that same Game Boy? No, I don't have it. And from basic training, I went to Fort Huachuca, Arizona for my first job, and I didn't do so good. I tried. I was there maybe 2-3 months, and they were like, "You got one more shot at this before we send you back to the block," as they say. So I became a quartermaster. Got shipped off to Fort Lee, Virginia, whiskey company. Shout out to Josan Perez from the Bronx, New York. That's what's up. And he saved my career because I was 21 years old, the oldest in my class. So we got passes to go off base and do stuff. They didn't give me a pass. I was like, what? The class has to agree to give you a pass. Like they put it. It was a weird democracy then, how people vote. And certain people could go off post and certain people can't go off post, and whatever their reasoning is. The reasoning for me not going off post is because, oh, well, you're an alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. You're just mad that your mama had you late. Because back at Fort Huachuca, the drinking age over there was 18. Now remember, I'm 21 when I joined the Army, so I'm already a full grown adult. So I'm drinking on the weekends, having a good time, partying it up. And every Sunday I would come back for formation at 1700 was formation. And I would be standing crooked. Everybody else is standing tall. In formation, I'm standing crooked, leaning. Usually leaning to the left because I was leaning on the next person that was holding me up. Drunk as a skunk, but I was there. And the class was like, they would always go to the drill sergeants. Hey, drill sergeant, she drunk. And drill sergeant Perez would be like, yeah, but she's here. She's where she's supposed to be. She met curfew. What's the problem? You know? And I have fun. Every duty station, I have fun. Had a great time. You know? And obviously, 27 years, I didn't get kicked out. Got in trouble here and there. Knucklehead stuff. Mouthing off. You know, as New Yorkers do, we mouth off to everybody. It don't matter. But when we mouth off, we joking. You know, people don't like being roasted. But it's fun to us. You don't like being roasted? Have some clapbacks. You could be T.I. petty, and you could rap about it, or you could be 50 Cent petty. Buy out the bar and make sure you don't get no shots. You know. And it's a wonderful thing to sit back. Yeah, I did graduate. Like I said, graduated, obviously, AIT, number 2. And then I went on to my duty stations, went on to do my military career, wherever I was stationed, job I had, the people I've met, some good, some I want to smack, you know. And then there's some people I wish I kept in touch with. But back in the day, we didn't have like social media. We barely had cell phones. You know, we barely had ways to communicate and keep in touch. It was back in the day, you still writing letters and hoping that the letter went back to your home record and your parents, your loved ones passed that letter on so you can see it. So, yeah. But the household I came in, I never was told I got letters from battle buddies, which really sucks because I had some really cool battle buddies over the years, you know. So shout out to those battle buddies that still keep in contact, still check up on me. We still hit each other up like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing? How the babies?" Because we all got kids now. We all just living our lives. A lot of people that I served with got out. They did their time and got out, but they did like single digits. Some of them, if they made it to the double digits, like 10, 11, 13 years, and they got out because the army's not the end all be all. Some people were able to make a living outside of the army. They made more money because again, people think that you in the military, you making money. No, you learn to save your money. But if you never had money before and you never had financial classes, you never had a mentor to teach you how to invest, save, be financially savvy, that money go quick. And then before you know it, your time is up. You're not getting them handsome checks no more. You're getting them poor people checks for a minute before you figure it out. And what I liked about the military is you do grow up in the military. When you join young, you transition into going from a street kid, a kid off the block, a kid off the farm, a kid into a full-fledged adult. And then you're responsible for other adults to the right and left of you. And then you create little adults of your own, and you're responsible for them, and you're raising them, and you're teaching them ways and things that you weren't taught or you were taught along the way, and you pass down your wisdom and knowledge to them. It truly is like kind of weird to see, and I'm grateful for all of it. I really am. I had a great time. So yeah, I got one more month in the army, and then I have to learn how to transition to being a civilian again. I ain't worried about nothing, because that's what life do. You transition, transform, you do something, right? We don't stay in one spot too long. As humans, we learn to adapt and overcome, accept change. Yes, and a lot of people don't like change. I get it. We don't like change. We're stuck in our routine. We're stuck in our ways. We're stuck in what is called the norm. And when everybody or anybody contests that norm, then it's a fight, right? When somebody upsets your routine, you ready to fight, right? And that's what's happening. Sometimes you got to pick your battles and be ready to fight. And some people are like, no, I don't know how to fight. I've never had to fight ever. But there comes a time when you stand up on your own 2 feet, pick your fighting stance, do your war cry, and go into battle. Whether it's a divorce, custody battle, a court case, it could be a dispute between neighbors. You find a reason to fight. You find a reason to defend. And other people that are not fighting your fight might not understand why you would choose to fight for what you're fighting for. They might not agree, but the outcome is always going to be something, good or bad. I don't know. That's just my take on everything that's going on in the world. I'm not going to lie. I'm very grateful that I'm not deployed right now. Like I said, I've deployed 4 times. And each time was scary. First time I was single. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have a spouse. It was just me. So if something happened to me, there was nobody to mourn me. And I'm okay with that. I understand. I totally understand. But now, fast forward, the 3 deployments that I've had, uh, 2 married, 1 divorced. But I have kids, And my kids can never understand, like, how come you don't call when you're not When you're not at home, you don't call. And I'm like, because you have to get used to me not being there. You have to learn to be independent. I'm not going to be there all the time. There's going to be times where you can't call me. I can't fight your battles. I can't protect you. I can't defend you. I can't. And that's a scary thought to have. But when you put them through the ringer that young and they grow up a little bit more resilient, does it hurt? No, because I have a relationship with my children. If I didn't have a relationship with my children, it would probably hurt. Thirsty blues. That wind is winding. That's why I'm using the microphone today. That's why I'm holding it. I lost the clip. But yeah. Just wanted to let you guys know that life is short. Find someone to love and cherish and hold on to. Don't be scared of making decisions. The only decision to fear is the one you didn't make. That saying shoulda, coulda, woulda. Wait, but you didn't. Don't live your life in regret. Do the positive, not the negative, basically. Don't let the intrusive thoughts win. That's the thing. That's the thing. You know, you want to go up and slap somebody upside the head. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Write a story about it. Write a joke about it. Tell them on stage or something. So yeah. Just be easy. Yeah. I forgot how beautiful Virginia is around this time. All the trees and the marshes, the lakes, the rivers. I never got stationed here though. Just came here for schools. That's it, just for schooling. You know? And like my journey's ending. Staying at a bomb ass hotel is nice. It's really nice. Yes. Get my reward points. So had a seafood dinner. And let me tell you, when you near water, the ocean, yes, where the fish, the seafood, yum, yum. I know a lot of people are like, oh, don't eat anything out the sea because there's mermaids, whatever. Look, we're not eating mermaids. I'm not. I'm eating traditional scallops, crab legs, shrimp. I know somebody say you're not supposed to eat shrimp, but hey, they succulent and delicious. I had fried oysters for the first time because I'm not about to eat the slimy oysters. I'm not ready for. I'm not about that life. I'm not ready for that. But the fried oysters, yes, with the cocktail sauce, and I forgot I was allergic to cocktail sauce, so I had to switch it to hot sauce. It's cool. And how about we in Virginia and they got Texas Pete on the table? They got Texas hot sauce. That's what's up. So if you never had fried oysters, get you some. We were eating at Croker's Pot. Yep. Get you, yeah. Get it. And it had the menu, read the menu. It had the history of the location and everything. And if you know about Virginia, Colonial Heights, the whole area, Virginia is rich in history. The buildings that are still standing from those times before the 1900s. You heard? They got instead of a regular bus, they have a trolley as a bus. It was the cutest thing. I didn't get a chance to take pictures because I'll be like looking out the window and forget to have my phone out, take pictures. But that's just me though. But yeah, live in the moment. Take the pictures. Build the memories. It's awesome. It really is awesome. And then like to be on East Coast time. Woo! I'm not losing any sleep. No more than I've already lost. I have insomnia, so I'm not losing sleep. I'm just out here enjoying the weather, enjoying the night, enjoying the time, making those memories. Yeah. So thank you. My next show. Glad you asked. March 14th, I have a show. March 22nd, I have a show. And I'll put up the flyers when I get them. March 27th, I have a show. So, I believe all those shows are free. So come hang out. Come catch jokes. I got a new 30-minute special. Well, not special. Got a new 30-minute set. I did film my comedy special. I just haven't put it out yet because I don't know what platform to use yet. I was able to ask some comedians like, "Oh, what platform did you use to release your special?" So I have ideas on where to release them, and I just haven't figured out when. I might just wait till the 10-year anniversary and just release it because it's my first special. Hopefully, first of many comedy specials. You know, and then once I'm fully out the military, I can do more military jokes. Um, because I had fun. I tell you about all the fun that I had, hilarious times, and the people that I've met along the way. And I wish and hope that they're still good. I know some have passed away. Rest in peace. Some have passed away um, in different conflicts, different duty stations, um, suicides, health issues, health problems. You know, so there's a lot of people I miss, and a lot of people I should have smacked. I'll see you later. Love you guys. Bye.